Hi, I'm Georgie, and in this video, I'm going to explain 4 things for you to expect from your first garden. Weeds, rain, veggies, or not, and bugs. Weeds will come. Hopefully, you've been able to prepare your site, but rarely is anyone going to want to wait a year for their first garden. I would suggest that you keep your plots small enough so that you won't get discouraged. Not understanding when the weeds come, which ones are bad, which ones are horrible, which ones are just obnoxious, can discourage you the first year.
This one falls between horrible and obnoxious. It just runs and runs and runs.
There's so much for you to absorb, and those cute little tomato, pepper, eggplant starts, when you can't stay out of the garden center, will lull you into a stupor. This is easy, you say. And then you add some string beans and some zucchini and some summer squash. The end of school rolls around with a couple of rainy weekends, and a project at work needs to get finished. Oh, and the dog ate the sandwich that your 10-year-old left on the coffee table, plastic wrap and all. That was not in your agenda either. The next thing you know, you can't even find the heirloom tomato, jalapeno, and whatever eggplant that were so darn cute just a few weeks ago. Mulch. Mulch, I say. Mulch with whatever you can get your hands on. Paper bags or cardboard in the rows, grass clippings, chicken bedding, leaves left over, sawdust. Anything will save your garden. Have a little plan to keep up with the weeds. If you know exactly when and what you need to do and why, it's not that bad. The earlier in the season that you disturb those little germinated seeds, annual seeds, the better. When they're little tiny, all you have to do is just mess up the first 1/4 inch of soil. Leave them right there. Don't even bother to throw them out. They'll just dry right up. If you did that once a week, you're not going to have a problem. Then rain will come. Some years, a lot of rain will come. Not a whole lot you can do about it. But if your soil has a lot of clay, organic matter is your friend. Same if it's sandy. Lots of organic matter, which again is the leaves, the sawdust, anything. Grass clippings, anything. Every year that gets pretty much burned out by the sun. Just keep putting it in whenever you can. And rain may not come. If you've mulched already, you're ahead of the game. Not only will that mulch keep the soil from drying out, it keeps the soil from repelling water, which happens when it's really dry. Invest in some good waterers. You're not going to do what you need to do if it's not convenient. Thirdly, too many veggies will come. You'll probably have too much of something a couple of times in the season. Now, you can eat them till you're sick. I've had to do that sometimes. And you can try to give them away. If you have too many cucumbers, so does everyone else. It becomes an involved game of who can get to Aunt Tilly first. And if you leave them on her doorstep and she no longer has the physical ability to throw them over the bank, that's just wrong. Put them in the compost pile. I know that sounds extreme, but it's more important that you keep those plants picked than it does that you're feeling like you're wasting them. There's not going to be a bolt of lightning come out to tell you what to do with all that bloody zucchini. So my favorite is raise some chickens. They love mucking around and scratching, and it's a whole bunch easier to get rid of eggs than it is all that zucchini. Now, enough of a particular veggie may not come. You have Great Aunt Maggie's bread and butter pickle recipe. You found it in the attic when she went to that great garden in the sky. You miss her, and you miss them. Then along came the blight. And in 4 short days, your cucumbers are gone. It's disappointing, but there's always something that doesn't turn out as you'd like. Don't be discouraged. These unknowns can be disheartening, but it's really a disaster. The first year's the most unsettling. It gets better after that. And lastly, bugs will come. If you are really, really, really against bugs, get your produce at the farmer's market. If you insist on using pesticides, they'll do more harm to you and the environment than they will to your tomato plants. And besides, these are really cute bugs on your tomato plants. I'll send you a picture. They can be annoying to the novice, but they can be fun as well. And for the small gardener, they're very manageable. Find them, pick them, squish them, feed them to the chickens. Check your plants over every day. Look under the leaves. Are there any holes? Are there any eggs? Squash them. Make a game of it. My daughter and her husband used to mix a drink after work and go down and peruse 50 rows of potatoes, getting rid of the dreaded potato beetle. And they did. Catch them before they become prolific, and you've saved the season. The important thing to know is they are part of the food chain. Your food chain. Every little thing is food for something bigger. It starts microscopic, and it ends up with you.